The giant is gone, but its fossilized remains still whisper the same message. Some ancient crocodilians grew far beyond modern crocodiles, reaching lengths that rivaled the largest land predators. Every riverbank was a dangerous place, because beneath the calm surface, the ancient giant was always watching. Its jaws were built for one purpose: locking onto prey with terrifying force and refusing to let go. Every part of its body was adapted for survival: armor for protection, muscle for power, and a tail built for sudden movement. But survival required more than strength, because the climate itself was constantly changing. When rivers shrank and food became scarce, even the largest predator had to adapt or disappear. The giant did not rule alone, and powerful competitors were always waiting for a chance to claim the river. Territory of the giant. Size became a warning, and the giant's presence alone could decide who controlled the most valuable hunting grounds. These bones tell us it was massive, a true river giant. And this jaw structure explains the incredible strength. Even after millions of years, their teeth remain some of the clearest evidence of a powerful predatory lifestyle. In a fraction of a second, the predator strikes with unparalleled force. A body built for survival. Its body was a living survival machine, shaped by millions of years of competition and environmental change. The giant was not just another animal in the river, it was one of the ecosystem's dominant apex predators. Millions of years of change. Through changing landscapes and disappearing species, ancient crocodilians continued adapting to survive. But even the greatest river king could not escape time. And eventually, the age of giants began to fade. During brutal dry seasons, every remaining pool became a battlefield for survival. The fewer the water sources became, the more dangerous each one became. Fish were another vital source of food, especially when larger prey became harder to find. A hunt below the surface. The crocodilian accelerates underwater, its powerful tail driving it toward a large prehistoric fish. Its enormous tail was not decoration. It was the engine that powered its movement through the river. Heavy armor helped protect the giant from attacks by rivals competing for the same territory. But rivers could change in the opposite direction too, becoming violent floods almost overnight. For a predator built for water, a flood could become a vast new hunting ground. Every herd that came to drink entered a world where danger could be hidden beneath the surface. The most dangerous places were often natural bottlenecks, where prey had no easy escape. Buried beneath ancient river sediments, fossils preserve the story of predators that disappeared millions of years ago. The skull was one of its greatest weapons, combining enormous size with powerful gripping muscles. When darkness covered the river, the giant became even harder to detect. For a time, the rivers belonged to giants, and this colossal Sarcosuchus crocodilian stood among their most powerful rulers. Even powerful predators had to respond when water temperatures and river currents began to change. The crocodilian remains nearly invisible among reeds and floating vegetation, its olive-brown armored back blending into the river environment. The most successful ambush began long before the attack, with the prey never realizing danger was near. Its strength was tested not only by prey and rivals, but by the river itself. When floodwaters spread across the forest, the giant gained access to an entirely new hunting environment. Every new channel, pool, and flooded forest created fresh opportunities for an adaptable predator. A warning from the giant. Sometimes, a display of size and power was enough to prevent a dangerous fight.
The river becomes crowded. The ancient river was never empty. It was a crowded ecosystem where every species competed for survival.
At the top of this dangerous food web, the giant had few natural enemies. Like modern crocodilians, ancient giants depended heavily on their environment to survive extreme heat. Then the rains returned, transforming the river once again and reshaping the entire landscape. Survival sometimes meant moving onward, following water and food across a vast prehistoric landscape. But when food became scarce, even a giant predator faced the ultimate test of survival. When prey moved away, the giant's kingdom became harder to defend.
The giant American alligator enters the final deep channel.
The enormous river ruler now controlled a smaller kingdom than ever before. The competition for food. Food was becoming limited, and competition was turning every meal into a desperate struggle. The giant still possessed strength, but strength alone could not create water or restore lost prey. Then, after months of drought, the ancient skies finally began to change. For a brief moment, the river began to breathe again.
The last perfect ambush. The giant crocodilian positions itself beneath a shallow crossing where young prehistoric animals move near the water's edge.
Millions of years of evolution had refined instincts that could still turn silence into sudden violence. But the river was changing again, and this time the transformation would be impossible to stop. Eventually, the giant vanished from the living world, leaving only bones, teeth, and clues behind. From these ancient remains, scientists can reconstruct a predator that once ruled rivers on a truly colossal scale. The giant crocodilian reveals just how extreme prehistoric river predators could become. The ancient giant shared the same basic crocodilian blueprint, but evolution had produced a far larger, truly enormous version. Its survival blueprint combined armor, patience, aquatic movement, and one of the most powerful hunting designs in nature. Why giants disappear? Giant predators are vulnerable when their environment changes faster than they can adapt. The ancient river becomes fragmented into smaller waterways. When the great rivers changed, the kingdom that supported the giant began to disappear. Somewhere in the ancient world, the last giants may have continued moving through rivers that no longer exist. The final survivor may have looked across the river and seen a world that was slowly vanishing. Then, long after the river disappeared, its bones began to tell the story again. Its dominance came from more than size. It came from a complete set of adaptations working together. A predator of this magnitude would completely reshape the food chain, a true ecological transformer.
A predator built for another world.
Its body disappeared, but its fossil legacy still reveals how powerful ancient river predators could become. For millions of years, the rivers belonged to creatures like this, silent, powerful, and almost impossible to challenge. Millions of years ago, one predator ruled the rivers, and almost nothing was powerful enough to challenge it.